key timing points. They are so crucial to your trading, and the key timing point is just one half of a forecast, which is a relationship between price and time meeting on the chart. So when it happens, right, when you make a forecast on the VIX or any other market, and you actually get to the forecast and the market starts turning, what do? So that's what we're gonna look at here today, how to analyze the VIX at a forecast key timing point. Before we look at the charts, important reminder that trading and investing can be extremely risky business. Therefore, it's your responsibility to evaluate any information, opinion, advice, or other content contained in my video. So let's take a quick look at the VIX here and see what we're talking about. There is this faint line here. Okay, I'll make it a little bit easier for you to see for a moment. And this was dated for July 11th. Now, I made the forecast for this to be a key turning point on the VIX weeks ago. So you can check out my video where I shared that forecast to start with. The thing is, the market has now come to this level. So I'm gonna make this a little lighter again so it's easier to see the price action around it. And you can see that this is not only a key timing point based on a cycle, and I teach cycle analysis in the loss forecasting trading system. It's also a key timing point because we came into an intersection between trend lines. That's another pressure point in the markets. So where do we go from here? Well, I've got 4 steps for you that are really important to remember. All right, here are the 4 steps how to analyze the VIX at a forecast key turning point. So the first thing you want to do is determine the price trend. Now you might be wondering, wait a minute, Hema, you've been talking about forecasts and timing. Why are you going back to price first? Because price is king. Price is the most important piece on your chart. And whether you're trading a derivative of the VIX directly, options or the like, or you're trading other markets, and I'll show you what I mean in a moment, you want to know what the price trend is of the VIX chart before you take action in your forecast. So let's bring that back and take a look. All right, so taking a look at the daily chart of the VIX coming into this timing point, we can see that the action on the VIX chart made a low just 1 trading day prior on July 8th. Now, if you follow the action, we can go backwards on the chart, we can see that there was a high on June 30th. So a previous higher high compared to the recent low. Prior to that, there was a low on June 28th. Take it back up. There was a high on June 16th, a low on June 15th, and a higher high on June 13th. So that's moving backwards on the chart. And this is something I review often with students in our monthly group coaching live, whether it's the original monthly group coaching or advanced, because understanding price trend works best when you work from right to left. So now you can see that we have a series of descending action, right? Lower highs and lower lows. So the price trend is down on the VIX. Great. Now taking that information, let's move to the next step. Check for any new measurable cycles that strengthen or weaken the key timing point. Let me show you what I mean. Coming back to this chart, the key timing point original data that gave me July 11th was based on my loss forecasting techniques. And I've got a snapshot of that in the loss forecasting, the bonus content section. So you can take a look. Now, I'm now seeing that there's potential other cycles forming. And I'm going to take a quick second to do even more loss forecasting, which you can do in seconds, to help me figure out what other action is happening nearby that can either add to this likely being a major turning point or suggest that maybe it's just a little bit of a bump higher, but not a full turnaround on the VIX. So let me do those forecasts and I'll be back in a second. Okay, this just took me a few moments and now you can see I have some additional lines here. So let me bring your attention to those. So in addition to this July 11th line that was the original forecast, I've now made a new supplemental forecast for the next trading day it happens to be, which is today, July 12th. And you can see that this is fortifying this key timing window as being key and likely for a price reversal. On top of that, there's a longer term cycle I measured, and that's giving me out till July 21st. So what this is doing, guys, is kind of painting a map, painting a roadway. Okay, there's smaller cycles that have the little bumps in the road of your price action, and then there's the bigger cycles that dictate the major moves, like this one here, or this one here, or this one here. The key is being able to know sooner than later if the price action you're in is going to be just a minor bump, right? Are we just having this recovery and falling lower? Or are we in the midst of a major turnaround on the VIX, such that if the VIX were to trade higher from here, the broad market, the SPY, Dow, everything else, would likely trade lower. That's why these steps are important. Just because you get the forecast right, that's only half the battle. You have to know what to do when it gets there, right? Okay, great. Let's look at our next step. Revisit key price levels. Well, this is where we want to look at support, which is price floors, temporary areas of buying pressure, or resistance, which is price ceilings, temporary areas of selling pressure, and make sure that we're paying attention to the right ones on the chart. So bringing back our chart here of the VIX, you can see that from my past analysis, I had resistance lines drawn up at 37.52 and 37.79. Those are still important, but in the near term, okay, in the more close by price action, the most important level is this June 30th high, the 30.2022 level. So I want to make sure I'm aware of that. You could even put an alert on it. So in TradeStation, the way you would do that is right click with your mouse, edit horizontal line, go to alerts, hit enable alert, and then depending on how vigorous you want the alerts to be, alert once or alert continuously and more, okay? Now on the flip side for support, yes, this support down here at 21.32 is still important and still something we'll monitor. But now I'm also going to look at this recent low that formed here at 23.74. So anchoring it right in place, making it pink because that's what I like to use for support. And again, I could put an alert on it to help me stay on top of exactly when VIX gets to that level. So now that I have a framework for what's shaping the price action, we can move to the fourth and final step. Know your confirming levels for taking action. So now we're gonna get really specific. If I was writing my skinny style report on this, and I'll talk more about my skinny style reports in a second, I would probably say something like this. Hey, the VIX is at a key timing point, July 11th, as shared in my mid-June tribe video. Price is in a downtrend, and we are at the intersection of two major trend lines. So all of that on top of the RSI power zones being back at the bull support power zone suggests to me that the VIX is primed. Okay, it's not 100% yet, but it's primed, it's ready to turn higher. The initial upside target would be 30.22, but you need to see a move above 30.22 to kind of really push higher and get back to these other levels that you see here, 36 up to 38. On the flip side, if there isn't a sustained turn at these levels and we start to trade lower, the next support on the VIX, because again, the VIX is moving opposite to the broad markets. So the next support on the VIX is 23.74. And if we see a push below that, then the next downside target would be 21.32. So those of you who follow my Skinny on the Mini reports have maybe read hundreds of them or maybe just one of them. Do you see how I did the analysis and I was just able to talk through it, and that's essentially what the outlook would be? Awesome. Well, I'm also in a really cool time now with what I'm sharing about what's going on in the markets these days, in that all of these markets you see here, the FANG stocks, 6 currency pairs, a bunch of commodities, and the 4 broad market index ETFs, all of them, I've just published this past weekend long-term skinny style reports on those. And you can get a copy by joining my tribe and following on the emails that lead you in once you come in the tribe, or if you're already in the tribe, keep an eye on your email inbox. We're sharing with you information this week about how you can get access to these reports. This is a very crucial time in the markets. I very painstakingly and very detailedly went through all 20 of these markets, monthly chart, weekly chart, daily chart, and came up with forecasts for every single one. The VIX that you see here is me just doing what you in front of you as a bonus. But you can get access to the 20 reports that are there by joining my tribe, or if you're in the tribe already, reaching out to the team and keeping an eye on your emails. So I hope that you got a valuable lesson here out of how to analyze the VIX at a forecast key timing point, right? The steps to do on the chart, and really these can translate anywhere in the market. The VIX is just such a useful guide to what's going on in the markets and the economy. And there are other markets that are really key to this, and I'm going to focus on them, especially in this season of a lot of change in the economy, because I want you to be armed with the best possible information to manage your trading and make your decisions. So keep an eye out. I'm going to cover interest rates. I'm going to cover certain currencies and more, ones that are really of the moment, but that are also important for you to keep an eye on as economic conditions change over months, years, and more. So remember to subscribe, like, comment down below. Let me know how this helped you, what lessons you gleaned, what other markets you'd like to learn about, and more. and follow and join my tribe if you haven't already. So look forward to seeing you on the inside, and I'll catch you next time. You can sign up at the link to join my tribe and get my hot, timely, actionable updates as soon as I publish right to your inbox.